Once you've played a racing game with a decent wheel, it's really hard to go back to a controller, no matter how good it is. I played many racing games in the 90s, and unfortunately, I was never able to play any with a wheel. Back then I didn't even know there were wheels available for the Nintendo 64 or PS1. So today, I'll put down Gran Turismo 7 and F1 23 and try some old games on a modern wheel. The wheel is a Logitech G920, which is easy to set up, although I've had to change the operating range in a few of the games. So I've started with the Nintendo 64 and the most popular racing game for that system, Mario Kart. This game was not made with wheel use in mind, so I would just stick to a controller with this one. GT64 on the other hand, I strongly recommend a wheel for this realistic for its time racer. This is the first game I had in mind before making this video, as I thought the handling sucked when I first played it in around 1999. I'm so glad I've given it a second chance with a wheel, as it makes the game 10 times as fun. Cruisin' World was an awesome arcade racer which should work great with a wheel, and it does if you only play with auto transmission. The manual transmission is kind of whack in this game, as you use the same button to shift up and down. If you want to shift down, you have to take your foot off the gas, then press the shift button. Using the G920 for F1 64 completely transforms the game for the better, as you have much more precise control of the car. I upped the difficulty to standard as I destroyed the AI at novice, which made for much closer racing, although I pushed a bit too hard and caused a bit of damage before finishing 17th.
Okay, Kimi, next car behind you is Alonso. I'll keep you updated on the pace.
Just leave me alone, I know what to do.
I love the sense of speed in Top Gear Overdrive, but I found it to be extremely difficult and couldn't quite get my wheel settings right. So maybe this is just a controller-only experience. Or maybe...
There's a problem. You're not any good.
I wanted to try F-Zero X just for a laugh, and it's surprisingly playable. I'd still choose a controller over a wheel because I know some of the more complex tracks would be absolute torture. Now onto the PS1, and of course I have to start with Gran Turismo 2. If you want to experience a real driving simulator to its full potential, you must use a wheel and there'll be no going back to the DualShock. After trying Mario Kart, I had low expectations for Crash Team Racing, as I assumed all kart races would handle the same, but I was very wrong about CTR. This is probably due to the game having full wheel support back on the original PlayStation. Although it is a good experience, I'll still stick to a standard controller for this one. With 16 cars on track and okay graphics for the time, TOCA 2's frame rate can take a big hit at times. However, I feel like it has the best handling model out of all the games in this video, and is a joy to play when it's not performing like a slideshow. High Stakes is still my favourite Need for Speed game after all these years. Adding the G920 is just the icing on the cake as you outrun the police in a Lamborghini, avoiding their roadblocks and spike strips with extreme precision.
Central, this is Unit 37. I'm still pursuing the suspect vehicle at the stone tunnel.
Roger, 37.
Attention all units, this is 217. What's the problem here, boys? Central, this is 217. We need a roadblock set up.
Confirmed. The roadblock is a go.
Central, this is 43. Roadblock set up near the stone arches.
Roger, 217. A roadblock is in place.
Affirmative.
And now for the final game, Nigel Mansell's World Championship. This was the first racing game I ever played, and it pissed me off nearly 30 years ago, so I wanted to see if a wheel could help me finally win a race. Unfortunately, I could only use the buttons on the wheel. Even so, I did eventually win the race. Thanks for watching me test out these old games with the steering wheel. It's going to be hard to go back to a controller anytime soon. I'm sure Kimi Räikkönen agrees with me here.
Give me the steering wheel. Hey! Hey! Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me.